Might as well do that here, otherwise I have to loop over these things again. Or just loop over every possible value. Blah, blah. We have the board right here. Let's do this differently, like boss determined children. Nah. Generate neighbors. Do that here. On the other hand, it might only work after this is done. Dang. No, it just works. Okay. Number of children is part of info, not board. So we must have the info thing here, which happens to be this. For black. And this for white. Let's do info. Assert classification is illegal. It's the exact same thing. wholly early. Hmm. Yeah. It was already called Z02. The whole certain nonsense. Increment process children. Yeah, this must be larger than 0. Assert is wrong. Amazing. It fucking works. That is, it compiles and it runs. And it finishes. But is it actually working? The only sure way to test that is to compare it with version 1. It really sucks. On the other hand, I want to write the result to a file anyway. Maybe I should write this result to a file and then add that code also to version 1, and then I can compare the file. So I have to come up with a file format. I think it's just 2 files. one for black to move, one for white to move, and then write the info. Even writing just this would be sufficient, I think, to test it, because classification is already equal. But okay. If I want to serialize this, I would have to write. I don't really need a number of children, but yeah, could write that. I have to write this and this. So let's write classification. Serialized classification is the number of bits and made in moves. Oh, that's weird. Oh, it's the wrong version. This one only has bits. Yeah, that makes sense. These are bytes. I'm gonna do in binary serialization. You need to read and write bytes. Yeah, to and from an O stream and I stream, I suppose. I'm gonna ask an AI to write that. Lazy. It's always a char. No, the AI doesn't need to know that, I think. At least. It's an unsigned integral type. Let's put it that way. a bit overdone on the casting and stuff. Network order is the most significant byte first, right? I mean, that's what this is doing. If I is large, then we shift it a lot, so you get the most significant byte. That's written first. And here it's not really known where the whole most significant byte is, of course. I'm just writing it. So what you can do is maybe I should say screw network order. There's no 64-bit one. It is way, way better. I think this is original solution. Yeah, let's use a define. I don't think so. Pretty much BS. It isn't really super portable. Looks pretty much defined to me. Like, if, well, only if this not defined assembler. Use misc must be defined. Yeah, I think that will be defined. I already have an Indian.h. I already have it. I quite already have it. U64 to big endian. U64 to little endian. Big endian to UN64 and little endian to UN64, and then same for 32 bits. Sixteen. Hello, Ibrahim. Normally I want the code in utils to be absolutely perfect. Oh, it is written by Alifa, then it must be perfect. I'm from the Netherlands. Yeah, see, this remark is what the perfect means. And on these compilers and above, optimize these to no operations or B swaps with -02. So if the compiler is good enough, then this is absolutely optimal. I'm just going to rely on this to be actually working. But now we need a template for any arbitrary type. I think I'm gonna add it here. Does this one right? Pick Endian to UN16. I have a Discord. What do you want to ask him? Yeah, you can ask here if that's a problem. Tell me why it is a problem. And what is it about, the question. Where's my return type here? Return type is T. Right, it's kind of weird because yeah, okay, well, I guess. No, something is really wrong here. Oh, these things have a destination. That's what is missing. Yeah, okay. So the two big onion takes a destination pointer. And then just returns the destination as well. So I don't want to return this at all. I want to have the return value, which must, well, if we take a t, we return a t. So it must be a t. T result. And then we call this on t. On the result, I mean. And then we return results. Ibrahim, did you use a tree or a graph structure in this project? I started with... that's a good question. Is there a difference in this case? I didn't use a graph library. In the end, I just used a vector, I think. Yeah, with iterators to represent edges. But this graph is a tree, right? So I think it's the same thing. However, then I did run out of memory. It is impossible to store a graph that big. So now I have... I do something else. Neither. I recalculate all children or parent positions on the fly because I couldn't store them. No, it's hardly the Stack Overflow answer is nothing left. So maybe I shouldn't add this link, but I wanted to make sure that, or I wanted to, you know, make clear that that's not that it does not belong to this project. Do I keep a comment? I'll just make it reworked or something like that. Now let's see if this works. So now we want here a write to. We want to go from host to network on bits. Utils. To be honest, I might as well return a character, character pointer. Because this function now is bits type, returns a bits type. Hi Louis. And then you have to convert it again to that. Let me make C tags. That's included. Or not. How do they end up here? It was classification. That's where I was working. Penalty not here or here. Or anywhere in that file. Yeah, we found it back. So this call here with whatever bits underscore has as type, well, that is bits type. We call h to n now, then we get the same type back, but then with in big endian. Big endian byte order. So then I can reinterpret it again as a character const pointer, taking the pointer to that thing. And then I guess we write that out as yeah, why not just write it out as a buffer. Don't need to do this at all. I have two datas. Dang. See if that worked. O-string put. But you can only put one character. Nah. I need right. That is a character type. Interesting. Well, that's probably the character that is part of the stream, so that is her. Size, that's what the one that I need in. I'm gonna call it a gar pointer because data was taken. The point being that the gar pointer, which is the reinterpret cast of the pointer to data, is, after a lot of inlining and optimization, I hope, oh, this is H2N. Dang. Yeah, wait a minute. That's right. No, is it? I don't know, man. I have the feeling that it's just, you know, a one assembly instruction. We should end up with a single assembly instruction. But it's hard to believe. In the meantime, could put the whole file into Godbolt and then try to compile it there, but so I pass bits to H2N. For example, this one. Then we take the pointer to the result value, which is also returned. Though that might end up the usual copulation thing. So the result might be on the stack of the caller. In other words, we just write this directly to the stack of the caller into wherever it's going to need it. That is using this. That is either it swaps or it doesn't swap 2 bytes, and that's the compiler is going to translate that into a B swap, which is definitely one assembly instruction. And then it ends up on the stack of the caller, I think. So that would be here. And this is then the exact same pointer, so the compiler should know that. Casting doesn't care, assembly is all the same. And then it's going to write that to the O stream from that same location. So one assembly instruction and then call write. Write should just work. Plus writing to disk is then infinitely slow. Okay, reading at the back means we need to end up with bits. So I'm gonna do character pointer reinterpret cast pointer to bits. Going to write there some offset to this pointer. What? That is the this pointer. So this pointer we already have. This is now the this pointer. And then we read that. So I'm going to do OS read gar pointer and comma size of bytes. Read it back. Not nice because I have to swap it in place if it has to be swapped. I should make a data here first, I think. Data is the big endian stuff. Let's call this not data, but bits big endian. Yeah, that makes more sense. So we convert bits from host to network. And here the other way around. Whoops. Good catch, AI. Yeah, that is absolutely stupid. This cannot be const. I have to write to it. So just remove the const here. Holy shit, it put a star against it. I just banned ChatGPT. Yeah. Let's use this compiles. No memory H2N and instance utils. Interesting. Utils ending. I didn't write it yet. Totally wrote it. What? It's not in namespace utils. Why not? Why the hell would that not be in namespace utils? Well, I can put this in namespace utils, but what about these functions? Shouldn't they be in namespace utils? Kind of explicit. To have them in no namespace at all. Ugh. think I'm gonna break all existing code that is using this. Put it in namespace utils. Change log. Obviously, the Pragma could not be supported, so you have to use both. So I could add here Pragma once, and then that would be correct. Then either this works, where the Pragma once stops the compiler from reading the whole file again. Next time anyway then, so that would be a little faster. But hey, everything I wrote by now only uses Pragma once, because I'm just relying on that it worked. So I might as well do that here as well. And then we put everything in the namespace. And then we need, I'll leave the indentation the way it was here, but I need C standard in for this. We have that, and I see nothing else. This just needs C standard in. Only if I wouldn't make a mistake like that, would he? No. And then I added stuff, which is concepts, I think. This. Type traits. Okay. And it compiles. Okay. No, but that was just the possibility to write classification to an O string. I read it again. And I needed it for writing the whole info to an stream, because that has a classification in it. So I'm gonna copy what I just did from classification. That is these headers. Add that to info. And then implement that. So I need the exact same code for this one, followed by writing that. And then the number of children. Yeah, not really necessary. Why would I make my files unnecessarily big? So it's only valid if the position legal. The following are only valid. That's nonsense. This is temporarily needed. This is only valid. Well, the number of visited children is indeed also valid, because it's just initialized as 0, which is totally valid. And then it's incremented, and at any moment it's totally correct, the number of visited children. It just ends up with the exact same value as that one, so in the end it's not really interesting anymore. You could claim that if it is not a legal position, then it doesn't have children, so the number of visited children is also 0, in which case it would be, I don't know, whatever. I'm just gonna write these two, I think. Just those two, made in moves instead of bits. Bits. Okay, let's just do a monster placement. Bits becomes made in moves. And then I have a made in moves. There's a type int. So really this should be int. Should do it. Oh, wait a minute here. Made in moves type. Tiny little bit scary here, the size of int, because let's say later I change the the type of the made in moves for some reason, then well, one, this doesn't fit anymore. So probably should use auto here. Then it just uses the same type as whatever this is, because that thing returns the same type. And then here we can, I'm writing whatever I casted, so I should be using the size of that, which is then again that type, what was returned. But here we have to begin with the int, so I can't use the fact that I can use the fact here that we have whatever the type is, and I cast it. That's what I should write. And then this int just has to be, or should be, the same type as made in move. So I could here do the declaration type of made in moves. It should work. Yes, and then you also have to write the classification. And let's write it after that, because it comes after it. Classification dot write to OS. And read from. Now this was almost code duplication here, because I just copied it and then replaced bits with made in moves. So I could make two templates, but this is all. I mean, I could make a template of it and then use it here and in classification. But yeah, this is all. I don't need anything else, I think. So then I have to actually write a thing to disk. That's the classification. And this is then the number of moves. It is done here. So at this point I can write the graph to disk. Write to some file. However, yeah, why not? I can just write both to one file, black to move and white to move. So I need to open a file, which would then be, I guess, a standard output file stream. file and then give the thing a name. Info out. We have to open the thing as a binary file. Let's do it with the constructor. Open mode, which is a file name, I have that, and then we get an open mode. The basic output file stream. There's a difference, I don't see a difference here. Well, you can pass a standard file system path. Yeah, I pass this character const pointer. The open mode is the same thing. So I need binary as well as out. To the end, no. Open in binary mode, yes. Out, yes. Trunk discard content stream when opening. Yes. 8, seek to the end, immediately out, no. No replace, open in exclusive mode. Okay, so I don't know where I really need to pass the trunk. Apparently. So I need to pass out and trunk and binary. No need to use O actually, I think, because the only default seems to be that it has a default, the auto default. I don't know. And of course graph has no right to. Yeah, maybe not. Why do I call that OS? OS stands for output stream. Let's call it IS. What is going on? It's only one tag. I suppose I never did run ctags again. Arg, no. Huh? What? Oh, I added the wrong file again, as usual. What the hell? Info out. This is the file that it wrote. It's gonna look very hexadecimal, I bet. The binary, I meant. What's with all the FFs? Yeah, I suppose that we can test if this works by reading it back in. Let's make a graph, a new graph. I'm not sure that will work. I probably should first close it. Suppose I should have right to already close it. That is a kind of difficult, unless I pass the standard F stream as an F stream. Just close here. Now I want to compare them. Well, graph gives me access to the things I like to move, and you can just compare a whole vector. No, maybe not. Let's just get access to it first. I already did that 100 times. Do I not still have that? Select to move, Y to move. Yeah, I have that. I just need that needed from G as well, huh? Oops. Well, they have to be, because that is not even read from the file. Maybe I should even do that before I read it from the file. Otherwise I might crash. Nah, nonsense. Let's first crash and then do the assert. So that's definitely something that needs to be... okay, I'm gonna move it up because it looks almost silly. Wait a minute, I need an index. An info index. Oh, is that working? Well, not like this. An info index. The reply and classification both must be the same. Not sure if we can compare two classifications. Classification version 2. The thing exists of just bits. I want to compare the bits. There's no accessor for it. Let's add an operator. Ta-da, 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 success. So we can now read and write the data. And if I do the same thing for version 1, then we already have to compare as well. I just open the file written by version 1 then, and I compare it, and then ta-da! We know if it all works. Awesomeness. But I go to bed because it's way too late now. I'll do that tomorrow. So yeah, do I have to do the same serialization again, but then for version 1? I can probably copy a lot of stuff though. Classification as bits, that's one. This time the maiden moves is a part of classification, but yeah, it doesn't matter that much, right? Could probably do this in 10 minutes. Just copy it and then fix it and then etc. But it's already a quarter past my target bedtime, so